Well, it is beginning to look a lot like playoff football in Minnesota. Welcome to Chauncey Martin Field this afternoon for today's Section 8AA semifinal matchup between the visiting Park Rapids Panthers and your Pelican Rapids Vikings. Pelican Rapids comes into this game as the number 2 seed in Section 8AA, playing host to the 3-seeded Panthers. These two teams met just 2 weeks ago in Park Rapids. Pelican Rapids coming away with a 44-19 victory, and you know the Panthers have their eyes set on revenge this afternoon. The starting lineups first for the visitors from Park Rapids. Number 1, wide receiver, defensive back, a senior, Blake Morris. Number 4, quarterback, linebacker, senior Noah Morris. Number 7, wide receiver and defensive end, senior Matt Joanning. Number 8, junior wide receiver, defensive end, Ryan Carroll. Number 9, sophomore running back, linebacker, Jaden Whalen. Number 16, running back, linebacker, junior Aiden Manham. And the offensive line for the Park Rapids Panthers, number 52, junior Dondre Johnson. Number 62, junior Damian Arellano. Number 66, senior Tony Tig. Number 75, senior Jack Moses. And number 76, junior Caleb Weaver. And for your Pelican Rapids Vikings, playing their last home game of the season. They have hosted now 2 playoff games, and the winner of this game will move on to the section championship game up in the Fargo Dome. That starting lineup, the offense for the Vikings. Number 3, junior slot wide receiver Trayvon Benson. Number 4, junior running back Jack Kappinga. Number 7, slot wide receiver senior Jack Paulson. Senior quarterback, number 10, Timmy Guler. Senior wide receiver, number 12, Luke Soley. Senior tight end, number 13, Ethan Schustrom. And on the Vikings offensive line, tackle, number 67, senior Justin Jacobson. Center, number 70, Jarrett Stetz. Senior tackle, number 71, Chris Laferriere. Junior guard, number 73, Willem Pesch. And junior guard, number 76, Elias Valdivines. We've talked about all season that this Vikings team is out for redemption. Knocked out of the playoffs in the first round last year, and 2 years ago, bumped in that section championship game against the Barnesville Trojans. And who is likely awaiting the winner of this game in that section championship but the Trojans of Barnesville, the defending Class 2A state champions. The Vikings will be kicking off, moving right to left on your screen. It is a chilly late October day. Game time temperature is 25 with a slight wind chill. It feels like it is in the teens here in Pelican Rapids this afternoon. Number 17, freshman Grady Larson, set to kick off. And we welcome you once again to Pelican Rapids, whether you are a Viking fan or a Park Rapids fan, electing to watch this game from the warm comfort of your own home. Welcome. And we are off from Pelican Rapids. A short kick from Grady Larson is going to be fielded at the Park Rapids 30, and then down to a knee is number 24, sophomore Andy Joanning. And the Park Rapids Panthers will take over to start this game from their own 35-yard line. The Panthers are head coached by Jeremy Nordick, assisted by Jeb Sanford, Kevin Murphy, Wyatt Sanford, Jesse Buckholtz, Josh Papanda, Brian Johnson, and Randy Thompson. The Vikings head coached by Eli Beachy, assisted by Ryan Beachy, Chris Hacker, Hayden Hacker, Jesse, we got a couple of names on the same roster there. The first play of the game. is a run right up the middle for a gain of just a yard. I'm going to give you those Viking coaches one more time. That's the head coach, Eli Beachy, defensive coordinator, Ryan Beachy, offensive line coach, Hayden Sturdivant, special teams coordinator, Chris Hacker, JV defensive coordinator, Mitch Verdorn, defensive line coach, Paul Sturdivant, offensive booth coach, Jensen Beachy, and defensive booth coach, Rick Courtwright. This Panthers offense is one that flows through their senior quarterback, number 4, Noah Morris. And he finds himself in shotgun here on 2nd down and 9. That's number 1, Blake Morris in motion. Morris takes the snap, and the Vikings are there for the sack. That is number 10, senior Timmy Guler, followed by a host of other Vikings. And that is going to be a key all afternoon. Talking with head coach Eli Beachy before this game, commenting on how these two teams did just see each other 2 weeks ago. And Coach Beachy said the big key is to attempt to control that Park Rapids quarterback, Noah Morris. He is very dangerous. He is very shifty. Just because you feel like you've got him down for a sack does not mean he's still not going to escape and bust a big play. And here he scrambles to his left, looking to throw. And he's not going to escape that time. Back-to-back sacks. That is junior number 11, Channing Russman. And the Viking defense came to play to start. That is going to bring up 4th down and very long for the Panthers. And as if on cue, I talk about how a key is going to be trying to eliminate the scrambling of Noah Morris, and back-to-back sacks for the Vikings again brings up 4th and 25. Snap good, punt away, and it is going to land and go out of bounds at the Park Rapids 44-yard line. The Vikings are going to start their first offensive possession of the game in fantastic field position. The Vikings come into this afternoon with an 8-1 overall record. They finished the regular season 6-1 in the section. Again, that is good for the 2nd seed. That is their same mark in the HOL with a 6-1 record. Their lone blemish coming against the Barnesville Trojans back in week 3. They have since gone on a 6-game win streak. And I know everybody wearing black on the sideline and on the field is just hoping for another shot at that section championship game and the winner of the Barnesville Trojans and Frazee Hornets. It's Guler under center. Little bobble on the snap. He gets rid of it. Jack Kappinga in the backfield is going to be brought down after a modest 1st down gain of just a yard for Kappinga there. Guler with a little trouble handling that snap. You might notice just a tinge of snow on the field. That fell yesterday morning. Little lingering out there. Field is in good position, but good condition. Guler rides that fake, and he breaks a tackle, and is going to have a Viking 1st down. Timmy Guler ran that option with Jack Kappinga, and they both ran in tandem with one another for a good 5 yards before Guler decided to pull it and keep for himself. As I was saying, the field is in good condition. The only thing I could see happening is maybe a little slip here and there in some of the more covered parts of the field. Guler again pitches. That's Jack Paulson. Makes 2 men miss, and will have a 1st down gain of 4 for the Vikings. The Vikings have so many offensive weapons. Already so far, you see every play some type of read option that the Vikings are putting on their quarterback, Timmy Guler, giving to junior running back Jack Kappinga, deciding to pull multiple pitch options, and here Guler keeps again, and he is going to fall forward, and that's going to be another Vikings 1st down. But as I was saying, so many options offensively for the Vikings as they are quick to the line. Jack Kappinga led all Viking rushers. He is now at 1,042 yards in the season and 16 total touchdowns for the junior running back, and he is the lone man in the backfield behind Guler. Guler from the pistol sends Benson in motion. He will give to Kappinga right up the middle. Kappinga keeps his legs churning for a 1st down gain of 3 yards. Timmy Guler coming back after week 3 for the Vikings, has played in just 6 games, but has already accumulated 860 yards through the air, an astounding 77.1 completion percentage. He was perfect last week against Roseau, going 8 for 8 for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns. He has 10 total touchdowns through the air. That's Benson in motion. Benson's going to get the sweep, and he's got a little room to run, makes 2 men miss, and Benson is going to have another Viking first down, a very methodical first drive for the Vikings on the ground. They are a team that can beat you both on the ground and through the air. Thus far, it has been through Guler, Kapinga, and now Benson on the ground. Just over 17 minutes, just over 7 minutes remaining in this first quarter. Guler takes the snap. He will give to Kapinga up the middle, and Kapinga is going to be brought down after a short 2-yard pickup. That's going to bring up 2nd down and goal for the Vikings. As the clouds start to part and a little sun shines on the field, that should help get rid of any lingering small bits of snow. The Vikings quick to the line again. That is a 4-wide set on the near side of your screen as Timmy Guler takes the shotgun snap, and it's going to be a designed quarterback draw, and Guler is in for the Vikings touchdown. I don't want to say trickery there, but maybe a little confusing offensive lineup. The Vikings had 4 men wide left on a designed quarterback draw that's going to open up the middle of the field for the athletic senior quarterback, and Guler is in. And the Vikings have struck first in this Section 8AA semifinal matchup. Just last week, not even last week, just Tuesday, when the Vikings played Roseau in their quarterfinal matchup, we saw them attempt 2 PAT tries. That was the first time on the season. Here they elect to go for 2. Guler across the middle, and that is hauled in by junior Trayvon Benson for a successful 2-point conversion attempt. We are just under that midway point of the first quarter, and the Vikings lead 8-0. As I mentioned, the Vikings and the Panthers played on Tuesday night, so a short turnaround from that quarterfinal matchup to today's semifinal matchup. The Vikings, as the 2 seed, took on the 7 seed Roseau Rams and came away with a 55-6 victory. In a matchup of the 3-seeded Panthers against the 6-seeded Holly Nuggets in Park Rapids, and the Panthers came up with a 26-15 victory over a tough Holly team. And that gets us to today. Again, a short turnaround. Both teams with just 3 full days to prepare for this matchup. But again, they did play each other 2 weeks ago, so they are quite familiar with one another. Grady Larson again set to kick off for the Vikings. And the freshman sends it down. Better than his first kick. It's going to be hauled in at the 15-yard line. And right up the middle is number 16, Aiden Manham. Ball comes out near the end of the play, and the referees, I've yet to see any type of signal. And it is going to stay Park Rapids ball. Near disaster for the Panthers there, already down by a score, averting the turnover. The Vikings had a very hot start up in Park Rapids a couple of weeks ago, scoring early and often before the second half yielded to a much more even game. Here we see Morris on the quarterback keep, and he is going to fall forward for a gain of 2. It's going to bring up 2nd and 8. The Panthers come into this afternoon with a 6-3 overall record. They were 5-2 in the section. Again, good for the 3 seed. And when these 2 teams met 2 weeks ago, it was basically to decide which team would earn that 2 seed and where this game would be played. Had Park Rapids come ahead that game, they would have been the 2 seed, and we would likely be playing in Park Rapids right now. 2nd and 8, under 6 minutes to go in the first quarter now. That's quarterback Noah Morris from the shotgun. He's going to look to pass across the middle and incomplete. Throw just a bit behind junior wide receiver Ryan Carroll. And so far, the Vikings have done a really nice job of keeping Morris within the pocket. That was where he was so dangerous against the Vikings 2 weeks ago, when he was able to scramble, make a play with his legs, which would open up more throwing options downfield. And so far, he has been maintained between the tackle box. The Panthers trying to avoid their second straight 3-and-out. It is 3rd down and 8. Morris takes the snap, looks to pass again. Good protection. He's going to lob over the middle, and he's going to overthrow number 7, Matt Jawning. Coverage there by freshman number 19, Ethan Eisman, who was in lockstep with the Panther wideout, and that is going to bring up 4th down, and the punt unit is going to come on for the Panthers. So this Vikings defense has been superb on the first 2 Panther possessions of this game. And Trayvon Benson is going to be the deep man for the Vikings, set to return the second Panther punt of the game. And Benson's going to let this one bounce, and it's going to trickle out of bounds right around the Viking 40, which is where the Vikings will take over for their second possession of the game. 5:32 on the scoreboard here in Pelican Rapids. The Vikings lead 8-0. As I mentioned, the winner of this game is going to move on to play the winner of the 1-seeded Barnesville Trojans against the 4-seeded Frazee Hornets. That game happening also right now over in Barnesville. The winner of these 2 games meeting in the Section 8AA Championship. That game is going to be held next Friday, November 3rd, up at the Fargo Dome. That game scheduled for 5:30 as a start time. Guler sends Kappenga in motion and looks to throw. Over the middle, he's got Benson, and just through the diving arms of Trayvon Benson, Guler was unable to quite get his feet set as he was under a little pressure, still put that ball right near Benson's hands. Would have been an amazing catch from the junior. As it stands, it falls incomplete. And 2nd and 10. Well, that was a sight we did not see at all on Tuesday, an incomplete pass by this Vikings offense. Now Guler is going to give right up the middle to Kappenga, and a short gain is going to bring up 3rd down and long for the Vikings. This is a Vikings team that has not been afraid of going for it on 4th down, really regardless of distance and field position. So barring a negative play here, I would not be surprised if we saw the Vikings go for it. Guler is going to keep, and snuffed out very well by the Panthers on that. One of the better read plays by a defense that I have seen against this Vikings option offense, as Guler only is going to pick up 1 yard. That's going to bring up 4th down and 7. And it does appear as if the Vikings are going to be punting, as Guler is back deep, but are we going to see a little fake here? I'm a little confused. Guler is, in fact, going to punt. Have not seen the Vikings do much punting. Earlier in the year, it was Channing Russman who did that, and I'm curious to see if this comes up again later in the game, if the Vikings are not going to try a potential fake out of that when you already have your quarterback in the backfield. Something to keep an eye on as this game goes on. As it stands, the Panthers will take over after their defense comes up big with that 3-and-out, and they will start following the Guler punt from their 27-yard line. It's Morris from the shotgun, and he is going to fake and keep himself up the middle, snuffed out. That's Jack Kappenga on the stop, as well as number 67, Justin Jacobson for the Vikings. It's going to bring up 2nd down and 10 after Morris only made it back to the line of scrimmage on that 1st down play. The Vikings very quick to the line, whereas the Panthers elect to go into the huddle in between their offensive sets so far. It's Morris with 3 men wide to his right. He takes the snap and does look to pass to his right. Thrown, that's hauled in by number 7, who breaks a tackle and then is brought down by a whole host of Vikings. That's number 7, Matt Jawning. And that completion going to be good for 5 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 5. Nice job by Johnny making something out of nothing as he broke that tackle right at the line of scrimmage and was able to pick up 5.5 yards after that catch. A big third down here. This Panthers offense yet to pick up a first down, and this being their third offensive possession of the game. We are just closing in on 3 minutes to play in the first quarter of this one from Pelican Rapids. Section 8AA semifinal matchup. Morris going to throw on third down. That's complete to number 12, Landon Strasburg, the junior wide receiver, and that is good for the Panthers' first down of the afternoon, moving the chains. First and 10 from the Panther 43-yard line. It's Morris in the shotgun who takes the snap, drops back to pass, immediately under pressure from the Vikings, evades, gets the pass off the middle, and broken up nicely by junior Trayvon Benson, who elevated to high point that ball and swatted away. Very athletic play from the junior defensive back for the Vikings, and that's going to bring up second down and 10. The sun out now, you wouldn't know that it is a game time temperature of 25 degrees, but it is a chilly afternoon in Pelican Rapids. Second and 10, Morris again looks to pass, and it's going to be Guler there in the backfield for the sack. The senior doing it on the offensive end for the Vikings with the game's first touchdown, and now picking up already his second sack of the game defensively. And of course, for all of the Vikings seniors, knowing that win or lose, this is the last game that they will ever play at Chauncey Martin Field. Leaving it all on the field, and we have our first timeout of the game. Jeremy Nordic wanted to talk it over on this third and long, understanding the importance of the situation. It's early. It is only an 8-point lead for the Vikings, but this is a Viking offense that can score points in bunches. And for the Panthers, every possession, as the score is close early, is going to be very, very key. It's been a busy week of playoff activities in Pelican Rapids. The girls' volleyball team was victorious in their first round playoff matchup on Wednesday night against Barnesville. They did, however, come up short on the road in East Grand Forks last night. And so we'd like to congratulate the Viking volleyball team on a successful season and all the hard work they put in. The cross-country team was also in action yesterday afternoon in Bagley with their section meet. And we'd like to congratulate Charlie Larson for winning the Section 8AA cross-country meet and advancing to the state tournament. Here in Chauncey Martin, it is third and long. It's Guler again in the backfield. His third sack already defensively. He was untouched, and Morris had nowhere to go. Not the result you'd like for Park Rapids coming out of a timeout. And that is going to bring up fourth down and 21. It's Trayvon Benson back deep again. This is the third Park Rapids punt of the game. Benson has yet to have an attempt on the return, nearly blocked by the Vikings, but a great punt. Sails over the head of Trayvon Benson and takes a Park Rapids bounce until it is marked down at the Viking 23-yard line. So a great punt from Park Rapids. And the Vikings will take over for their third offensive possession from their 23-yard line. Mentioned Kappengele, the Vikings' leading rusher on the season. But Timmy Guler, within those just 6 games, has already accumulated 21 total touchdowns with that rushing touchdown early on. He has ran for 11 and thrown for 10. And the leading Vikings wide receiver in the touchdown category is Luke Soley, who comes into tonight with 9 total touchdowns for the senior wide receiver. Here, the give is to Jack Kapinga right up the middle, and Kapinga keeps his legs moving as a late penalty flag flies in. As it stands, it's an 8-yard first down pickup for Kapinga, but we're going to have to check this flag. That was thrown right as Kapinga was going down. And it's going to be a face mask that's going to go against Park Rapids. And so tack that on to the end of the Kapinga run. And it's going to move the ball 15 yards further downfield. And so just like that, the Vikings started from their 23, are already up to their 47-yard line following the Kapinga run and penalty against the Panthers. Just under a minute to go in the first quarter from Pelican Rapids. It's Guler with an empty backfield. Now he sends Kapinga in motion, fakes to Kapinga, and Guler's going to run up the middle. And it's going to be brought down after a first down pickup of 6 yards for the senior. These two teams, like I said, have met earlier this season, also played last year here in Pelican Rapids. The Vikings coming away with a 30-13 victory and have actually won the last 4 meetings against Park Rapids. These two teams have not played each other often historically. As Guler back to pass, under pressure, still looking downfield, throws, dangerous pass, falls incomplete. The Vikings fortunate to avoid a potential interception there. As I was saying, these two teams have met 3 times in the last handful of seasons. Prior to that, you have to go all the way back to 2002 for the last time these teams have met. That was the furthest my research could bring me. And so in the last 21 seasons, these two teams have only met 4 times, the Vikings having won all 4 of those contests. It is certainly 4-down territory for the Vikings. 3rd down and 4. Guler takes the snap. A late fake. That play just seemed off from the start. And we are going to have a penalty flag fly. And I believe that's going to likely back the Vikings up 5 yards on a false start. I'm not sure who they got on that false start. I can see Coach Eli Beachy asking for an explanation on the sideline. It did seem like the start of that play was off. And now you're really getting into kind of the weeds with this, but is it a false start on the center if the center snaps the ball before everybody else is ready? As it stands, though, that false start's going to bring up 3rd and long now for the Vikings. And with that penalty now, Coach Beachy's going to want to talk things over a bit more. The Vikings will use their first timeout. Excuse me, that is not a timeout. That was the end of the first quarter. So the Vikings will definitely take that now and take the extra time.
This is about our future.
A future that starts with us.
A future that starts today.
And we'll do it together.
Together. We realize that in order to make a difference,
We need to embrace our differences.
Because it's our differences
that drives our greatness. We must learn to challenge ourselves,
how we see ourselves,
and the world around us.
We need to push boundaries and move forward with intention.
Encouraging all of us to make a real change in the world.
And in ourselves.
Pelican Rapids isn't just a place. It's a home, a community, and our school isn't just a school, but a gateway to the rest of the world.
Our future is about me.
And we're back in Pelican Rapids to start off the second quarter. It is 8-0, the only points coming on a Timmy Guler quarterback keeper on the Vikings' first possession of the game. That was followed by a 2-point conversion completion to Trayvon Benson, setting our score at 8-0. Now it is 3rd and long. The Vikings, Guler drops to pass, and he's going to be brought down from behind, unable to get away. And that sack going to go to, I believe, number 52, Dondre Johnson of the Panthers. His jersey was already so covered in mud on the back, I had a hard time picking out that number. But an athletic play bringing down the senior quarterback for the Vikings, and that's going to bring up 4th and long. And for the second time already, the Vikings offense forced to punt. 2 weeks ago in Park Rapids, the Vikings, as I said, scored early and often. The score was already 30 to a very low score for Park Rapids early 2 weeks ago, and this Park Rapids defense has done a much better job of limiting the Viking offense, as that punch from Guler is going to go down to the Park Rapids 37, where the Panthers will take over for their 4th possession of the game. Would also like to let any and all of you know near the Pelican Rapids area that later today there is going to be a handful of events hosted by the Pelican Youths. And more on that after this first down play, as the give is going to go to number 9, Jaden Wallen, and he's brought down deep in the backfield. Very negative play for the Panthers on first down. As I was saying, Pumpkins Pizza and a movie night hosted by the Youths beginning at 5 o'clock this evening. That starts at the Pelican Library, followed by heading over to Thea's Pumpkin Patch, and the evening ending with a movie out at the barn at Dunn Villa. So lots of fun stuff going on later this evening. And you're more than welcome to attend that Pelican Youths hosted event. Here at Johnson Martin, it is 2nd and long. Morris back to pass. He's looking to his left, and he's got a man downfield, but excellent coverage by freshman Ethan Eisman, who was all over that play. And if anything, an athletic play by the Panthers wide receiver, Ryan Carroll, to not allow Eisman to intercept that ball. Already, the Panthers have been testing freshman defensive back for the Vikings, Ethan Eisman, and he has rose to the occasion with a couple of stellar plays for the Vikings secondary. That brings up 3rd down and 16. Morris is going to have 1 man behind him and 3 out wide left. He takes the snap and drifts to his left, throws over the middle. It's complete, but well short of the first down. That's number 12, Landon Strasburg, the junior. Number 12, excuse me. So the pass completed, but only for a gain of 3 yards. It's going to bring up 4th and 13. And already the 4th punt from the Panthers early in this game. The punt from number 9, Jaden Wallen, is going to be fair caught by Eisman, and the Vikings will start at their own 37. So from one 37-yard line to the other, and the Vikings will start their 4th possession looking to add on to their 8-0 lead. It's been a defensive battle so far on a cold afternoon in Pelican Rapids. The only offensive possession with any traction to it was the Vikings' first of the game, resulting in our lone 8 points. It's Guler with Kapinga behind him and 3 men wide left. He sends Benson in motion and will fake to Benson, and Guler, and the quarterback keeper up the middle, is going to have a short gain of a yard on first down, maybe 2 for the senior quarterback. After a short turnaround from Tuesday night to tonight, both teams, or the winner of this game, will have a near full week to recover before the section championship game next Friday up at the Fargo Dome. 2nd and 8, Guler with a 3-man backfield is going to give to Jack Kapinga, and Kapinga is going to have a gain of 6, almost 7 yards, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and short now for the Vikings. Vikings very quick to the line. We have seen this all season from the Viking offense, making it difficult for our defense to substitute or get a play call in. Guler rides the play action to Kapinga, and he's going to keep himself, and Guler is going to have more than enough for a Viking first down. The chains are moving, and the clock is running under 9 minutes to play in the second quarter from Pelican Rapids. But like I said, the Vikings all of the offensive players have an armband with their play calls on it. They get that play relayed from offensive coordinator and head coach Eli Beachy. And by doing that so quickly, they limit. A near broken play is saved and almost complete. 2 fakes on a very long developing play from the Vikings. And Guler, as he was being dragged down, was able to get just enough on the pass that it was in the vicinity of Jack Kapinga to avoid an intentional grounding penalty. And so after all of that, it will be 2nd and 10. As I was saying, the Vikings get that play call. They're usually pretty quick to the line, especially after a positive play or a first down, trying to catch the defense napping. And it can be really difficult and tiring on opposing defenses. Here, 2nd and 10. Guler with 3 men to his left. He sends Benson in motion and multiple slips at midfield. And Guler is going to have positive yards for the Vikings. Benson slipped on the motion pre-snap. And then Guler, as he tried to cut, also slipped. And that's been a very heavily tread upon area of the field. You can see it's a little darker than the parts of grass around it, and the Vikings are now moving into a little more untouched grass, and hopefully that would mean a little less slippage for both teams. It's 3rd and 7 right from the Panther 35-yard line. Barring any negative play, I'd say the Vikings are in 4th down territory. Guler fakes to Kapinga, now pitches out wide to Benson. That's going to be a Viking first down and more. A well-executed triple option there, as Guler has the ability to give to Kapinga, keep himself, or pitch to Benson. And a very well-executed play earns the Vikings their 2nd first down of this drive. And they are cooking now down to the Panther 35-yard line. 7:42 on our clock here in Pelican. Guler with 3 men in the backfield. Takes the snap, and he's going to look to pass on first down. The Panther rush. Guler gets it off. He's got Benson downfield. And just off the hands of Benson, really nice coverage by 16 junior Aiden Manham for Park Rapids, who was right there with Benson and might have even gotten a hand on that ball as it was going into Benson's hand. 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. Guler's going to have Jack Kapinga behind him. Senior Luke Soley split wide left and 3 men in a tight formation to the right. Guler is going to give right up the middle to Kapinga. Kapinga gets through, and Kapinga's got nothing but open space in front of him. Touchdown, Vikings! Kapinga came out of a crowd at the line of scrimmage and then was all alone in the Panther secondary. And with 7+ minutes to play in the 2nd quarter, the Vikings are now up 14-0 and will keep the offense on the field for a 2-point conversion try. Guler's going to have 4 men wide left. This was a similar formation we saw the Vikings run on that first possession of the game when Guler, quarterback, had a draw into the end zone. Right across the middle, and that's going to fall incomplete, but a flag does fly. From my vantage point, it looks as if there was a defensive back holding on to the jersey of junior Trayvon Benson. And I believe the officials saw the same thing, and so the Vikings are going to have a second chance on this 2-point conversion, this time a little bit closer to the goal line. The Vikings come out in that same formation. It's Paulson, Kapinga, Benson, and Soley wide left. Miguel Torres at the bottom of your screen, and it's Guler on the design quarterback draw, and he is in for the 2-point conversion. So a costly defensive pass interference penalty against the Panthers leads to 2 more points on the scoreboard for the Vikings, who doubled up their lead. It is now 16-0 with 7:30 to play in this 2nd quarter. Kapinga had been held relatively in check. Again, the Vikings' leading rusher on the season. Well over 1,000 yards, averaging over 7 yards a carry, and he busts one there. His 17th rushing touchdown on the season for the Vikings. Grady Larson set to kick off for the 3rd time. What little wind there is, and it is starting to gust a bit more as this game has gone on, is blowing more so horizontally across the field, right to left. Larson's kick is going to be fielded right at the 20-yard line. That's number 6 for the Panthers, who carries the ball all the way up to the 44-yard line. That's Parker Hunter, a sophomore tight end, with a nice return of 24 yards up to the Panther 44-yard line. So nice starting field position for the Panthers, who are in dire need of putting some points on the board here in Pelican Rapids. Already down by 2 scores. And the Vikings will get the ball to start the second half as well. Still a long ways to go until we get to halftime. 7+ minutes on the clock. And it's Morris who takes the snap and looks to pass. Complete on the far sideline before tackled by Trayvon Benson. That's number 8, Ryan Carroll, the junior. So a nice positive gain on first down for the Panthers. 2nd and short. And a pretty crucial drive for the Panther offense here. Morris takes the snap. He's going to keep himself, and he's going to be brought down right at the line of scrimmage. That's Timmy Guler, Channing Russman, and a whole host of other Vikings, including Jack Kapinga, who were in on the stop on that play. Despite the cold weather, a very nice crowd here in Pelican Rapids, both from the home Viking fandom, but also a lot of Panther fans in the stands making the trip over from Park Rapids. No lackage of similarities between these teams. Orange, black, white colors. Park Rapids, Pelican Rapids. Here's the 3rd down, give up the middle, and a 1st down and more. And an ankle tackle saving a touchdown, as that's number 9, Jaden Wallen, the sophomore running back on the 1st down run. Wallen coming off of a big game against Hawley, where he ran for 75 yards and a touchdown in the Park Rapids victory over the Nuggets on Tuesday night. That's the 2nd 1st down that the Panthers have had so far in this game, and they're looking to improve on that success. It's 1st and 10 from the Viking 29. Morris, the give again to Carroll up the middle, and this time he is brought down, not to Carroll, excuse me, to Wallen up the middle. And that's going to go for about 3 yards, bring up 2nd and 7 for the Panthers. This Vikings defense has bent just a little so far, but has yet to break. 2nd and 7. Morris takes the snap. Little designed quarterback run is not going to go anywhere as Morris gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that is all. Now, I'd imagine 4-down territory here for the Panthers, barring any big negative play. It's 3rd and a long 6. Morris in the backfield, takes the shotgun snap, looks to pass, pump fakes. Timmy Guler almost with the sack. Instead, the pass is going to fall incomplete. A call from the Vikings sideline looking for a hold on Timmy Guler. As it stands, 4th down following the incompletion. And the Panthers are going to keep their offense on the field. And the play clock is running, the play just getting into the huddle. The Panthers are going to have to hurry to get out of the huddle up to the line of scrimmage and get this thing snapped. We are under 10 seconds as they break the huddle. Very quick to the line. Now under 5 seconds. And with 3 seconds on the clock, Morris takes the snap, and he's going to be brought down. That is senior Luke Soley with the sack. And a turnover on downs caused by the Vikings defense. Again, bending ever so slightly, but not breaking. And with 4:18 on the clock, the Vikings will have the ball, looking to extend their lead before halftime, knowing they get the ball again to start the second half. Again, why that possession was so crucial there for the Panther offense, and now even more so for the Park Rapids defense, needing to keep the Vikings out of the end zone on this drive where they start from their own 30-yard line. It's Guler with 3 men wide left, Jack Kappenga in the backfield, Luke Soley near side. Guler takes the snap, and he's going to have a very short first down pickup there, maybe 2 yards. In the cooler field conditions and muddy field conditions and a little cooler air this afternoon in Pelican, a little more conservative play calling from the Vikings offense. We have seen them air it out a bit more and get a little tricky, and you also wonder if they're trying to be a little more conservative, hoping to advance to that section championship game and keep a couple more tricks up their sleeve, as Guler is going to throw wide left. I believe that is Benson on the catch and run, and Trayvon Benson is going to have a pickup of 5 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 3 for the Vikings. And with that spot actually going to be 3rd down and a long 2. And again, barring any negative play here, I do think the Vikings are in 4-down territory despite being in their own half of the 50. And a penalty flag flies. I saw motion from number 13, Ethan Schustrom, and that's all. There's a lot of conversing between the officials and the Vikings offense. To my eye, I did not see a call. And a false start is going to be called against the Vikings, much to the chagrin of head coach Eli Beachy, who was, again, looking for an explanation. I did hear him say from where I'm sitting up in the booth that there was a conversation pregame about that motion from the Vikings. As it stands, 3rd and now 6, 7 for the Vikings. Guler is going to give to Kappenga up the middle, and Kappenga has room to run again, and Kappenga leaving men in the dust. Jack Kappenga into the end zone for the Vikings score. Things can turn on a dime, and from what looked like a costly penalty pushing the Vikings into 3rd and long instantly turns into a Jack Kappenga touchdown run. And the junior with his 2nd score already today. That run puts him over 100 yards on the game. And it has the Vikings up 22-0. And again, they will keep that offense on the field to go for 2. They have been successful on their first 2 tries. It is now Mark Kappenga into the game for his brother Jack, and the Vikings again go with 3 men wide left, and another penalty flag flies, this time from the back judge, and a delay of game call is going to go against the Vikings. Those big plays, those big touchdowns can be so exciting that as a player you get caught up in the moment and you're a little slow to that huddle, you're a little slow to the line of scrimmage, and it caught the Vikings there. They will still keep the offense on the field. They're going to go for 2. Guler drops back to pass, throws across the middle, and that is going to be caught by Trayvon Benson. And despite the penalty backing the Vikings up on that two-point conversion try, they are successful, and that pushes their lead to 24-0 with 3:01 on the clock in the 2nd quarter. And now if you are the Park Rapids offense, you desperately need to stop the bleeding and get some points on the scoreboard. You got 3 minutes on the clock to try to do just that before half. And as I've mentioned a couple times, the Vikings are going to get the ball to start the second half. Grady Larson now with his 4th kickoff of the game. And the Larson kick is going to be short again. It's going to be fielded by number 24, Andy Johning. And he breaks a couple tackles and has a nice return up to the 43-yard line of the Panthers. And so Park Rapids with good field position to start this drive, where they would love nothing more than to complete this drive in the end zone. I mentioned a couple playoff activities, both for cross country and volleyball, but a couple of weeks is the Pelican Rapids High School and Community production of The Music Man. That's going to be on November 10th, 11th, and 12th as the give goes to number 9, Jaden Whalen. And he's taken down right at the line of scrimmage on first down. It's going to bring up 2nd and 10. And a timeout is going to be called by the Vikings. A bit of aggressiveness there from the Viking head coach, Eli Beachy, hoping to stop the Panthers here on a 3-and-out and leave some time on the clock to attempt to go score again if you're the Vikings before halftime. I'll use this timeout to talk a little bit more about that, what I was just talking about. Community production, there's a very large cast of students going all the way down to the elementary school, high school, a whole host of community members, including some staff members from the Pelican Rapids School District. And I know they are working hard and excited to present The Music Man to everybody on November, again, 10th, 11th, and 12th. That's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Following that timeout, it is 2nd and 10 right from the Panther 43-yard line. And in doing that, taking that timeout, you also put the Panther offense in a bit of a tough position where you still want to stay aggressive, and they are. They're throwing on 2nd down, and some separation on that completion to number 1, who is in the end zone. That's Morris to Morris. Noah Morris, the senior, to Blake Morris. And the Panthers did exactly what they needed to, putting points on the board in a big way. When that ball left Noah Morris's hand, it looked like Ethan Eisman was right stride by stride with Blake Morris, but Blake Morris got some separation, hauled in the pass, and that Morris combination is good for a 57-yard touchdown throw. And the Panthers will leave their offense on the field and go for 2. The scoreboard reading with 2:32 left in this first half, 24-6. Morris sends Johning in motion. And now in motion again. He takes the snap. Little miscommunication on that play, but it's going to work for the Panthers as Morris completes to Matt Johning. And the Panthers respond quickly. 2 plays following the Kapinga touchdown run, and the Panthers with their own big touchdown play, and it's 24-8 with 2:32 to play in the first half. You can't score 24 points on one play if you are the Panthers. You've got to take things one drive at a time, and that is exactly what they needed to do on that offensive possession. And now you hand it back to your defense, a defense that has allowed 3 scores to the Viking offense, but has also stopped them with 2 3-and-outs. And if you're the Panthers, you'd love nothing more than to get another 3-and-out and get this ball back before halftime. That's number 9, Jaden Whalen, the sophomore, who is set to kick off for the Panthers. And a big 2.5 minutes to finish out this first half. As Whalen sends it deep, that's going to be hauled in by Channing Russman. And he goes right up the middle, breaks a tackle, and will fall forward up to the Viking 35, 36-yard line. And that's where the Viking offense will take over. And the Vikings are right on what appears to be the most tread-upon, muddy part of Chauncey Martin Field right now. We'll see if that leads to any slipping on this offensive possession for the Viking offense. Guler with 3 men wide right, Kapinga in the backfield, and lots of movement. Miscommunication by the Vikings. And kind of some uncharacteristic penalties going against the Vikings. I see senior Luke Soley kind of talking to the offense there from his split wide position, saying, hey, calm down, we're okay. But the Vikings do start now, backed up. It's 1st and 15 from their 30. Guler takes the snap, will give to Jack Kapinga, going nowhere. Actually going to lose a yard. And the momentum has definitely, at least for now, swung back to the Panthers here in Pelican Rapids. The clock is approaching 2 minutes. No timeout by the Panthers. We'll see if they get a stop here on 2nd down if they decide to use a timeout. And now instead we have a timeout by the Vikings. That's the 2nd of the half by head coach Eli Beachy. And there's 1:56 to go. And we'll come back with 2nd down and long for the Vikings. It's been a fun first half of play here in Pelican Rapids. Some big plays from both teams. And right when it felt like momentum was entirely on the Viking sideline, a Morris to Morris 57-yard touchdown throw cuts into the Viking lead, and it's 24-8 with 1:56 to go in this first half. Again, the winner of this game will play on Friday, 6 days from now, up at the Fargo Dome. That game's scheduled for 5:30, and then it's the Section 8 AAA Section Championship that is set to follow at 8 o'clock. And we are back on the field, 2nd down and 16. That's Jack Paulson in motion. Guler takes the snap and looks to pass. He is looking downfield. Now he's got a lot of room to run in front of him. He pump fakes, tucks it down, and is going to fall out of bounds after a very nice run from Timmy Guler. He needed 16 for the first down. He gets 15. And so from 2nd and long to 3rd and now very manageable. And as he went out of bounds, the clock does stop at 1:47. Guler, a nice job getting out of the pocket there, finding that near sideline and getting very close to a Viking first down. Definitely 4 down territory. The Vikings have 2 downs to get this last yard if they need it. That's Paulson in motion. Guler is going to give to Kapinga right up the middle. Kapinga nearly busted another one. As it stands, a 10-yard gain on 3rd and 1 has a first down for the Vikings, and they enter into Park Rapids territory. It's 1st and 10 from the Park Rapids 46. Vikings quick to the line. Guler takes the snap, fakes to Benson. Now looks to pass, drifting to his left. He's going to tuck it and run. Guler's got a Viking first down and will run out of bounds after a gain of 15 on first down. And the clock stops at 1:22. The Vikings have 1st and 10 from the Panther 30-yard line. The second big rush play for the quarterback, Timmy Guler, on this drive, as Miguel Torres enters and Ethan Schustrom heads to the sideline for the Viking offense. Guler, 3 men to his right. He is going to instead give to Kapinga, and Kapinga is going to be brought down after a gain of 1.5 on first down. The clock really not much of an issue right now. It does seem as if there's a player down for the Panthers, and that's going to stop the clock at 1:07. The Vikings with 1 timeout to go. The Panthers with 2. That is number 52 junior offensive lineman and defensive lineman DeAndre Johnson, who already has a sack in this game. And he is up but limping slowly off the field. I was talking before this game that it doesn't matter whether you're cheering for the Vikings or the Panthers. You just want to see everybody come out of this game healthy, and we wish nothing but the best for DeAndre Johnson and hope to see him back on the field for the Panthers in this one. As it stands, it's 2nd down and long for the Vikings. Guler takes the snap, looks to pass. The pressure comes. Guler gets it off, and it's complete to Jack Paulson. And that's going to be good for a Viking first down. right as the Panther pressure appeared to be getting to Guler, he got it out to Paulson right on the money. A really nice toss and catch from Guler to Paulson. We're just under a minute to go. A fresh set of downs for the Vikings from just inside the Park Rapids 20. Guler with 3 men in the backfield takes the snap, and he's going to give to Jack Paulson, who's got room to run on the right side. Jack Paulson's got the 10, hit at the 5, and will fall forward inbounds. I thought inbounds. It appears as if the official said out of bounds, right at the 3-yard line. So the clock does stop on that play. A nice first down run. And the Vikings quick to the line of scrimmage. Again, 3 men in the backfield. Guler takes the snap. He is going to give to Jack Kapinga, who is in for the Vikings score. What a response from that Viking offense. And with 38 seconds to go in the first half, they tack on at least 6 points to their lead. The scoreboard currently reading Pelican Rapids 30, Park Rapids 8. The Vikings again will keep their offense on the field, attempting to go for 2. It's Guler all alone in the backfield. He's got Soli and Kapinga to his right, 3 men to his left. He drops back to pass, now a designed quarterback draw, and Guler is going to be hit right at the goal line and falls forward for the successful 2-point conversion try. The Vikings 4 of 4 on their 2-point conversion tries, and they push their lead back up to 24, 32-8. Very impressive drive by the Vikings offense. A couple big runs from quarterback Timmy Guler, a couple big pass plays from Guler, and it was capped off by the 3rd rushing touchdown of the game for junior Jack Kapinga. He is now up to 19 rushing touchdowns on the season for the Vikings. Larson set to kick off for the 5th time already in the game. And Larson just kind of a pooch kick, fielded quickly and then going down right away. A pretty athletic play by number 53, Alex Brewer. You don't really expect the ball to come to you when you're in that front line on a kick return, but he was on it, and with that recovery, the Panthers are going to have good field position. 2 timeouts, 36 seconds. Are they going to try to move the ball, or are they just going to get to halftime here? I would imagine they're going to try to get something started here, but they were a little over-eager, and I believe that is going to be a false start penalty. That's going to back the Panthers up 5 yards. Park Rapids definitely did appear to come out trying to push the ball downfield. Now backed up 5 yards, 1st and 15. Morris takes the snap, will again look to pass. Looking to his right, he throws and had a man open. That was number 8, Ryan Carroll, the junior wide receiver, but just overthrown. Second and 15 with 31 seconds to go in this first half. Panthers do have 2 timeouts, but they have a big 15 yards in front of them just to get a first down. 2 men wide left and right. Morris takes the snap, looks to pass again. Viking pressure picked up nicely, and Morris is going to throw. And again had Carroll running. Really nice coverage there by Trayvon Benson, and that pass falls incomplete. Now 3rd and long. I would assume that we are just going to see more of a conservative run play to let that clock wind down, and more than likely a run play would get us to halftime. The Panthers 3 men wide left, snap, and Morris is going to be hit in the backfield by 3 Vikings. That's Jack Kapinga, Justin Jacobson and Channing Russman all in on the sack. And so the clock does run until the Vikings actually use their third and final timeout of the half with 14 seconds on the clock. And a lot can happen on this punt play here. You could have a potential block, trying to get a couple extra points before the half. You're also going to give your return men a chance, a potential opportunity to return. And worst case scenario, just have your offense come onto the field and probably just run a play and head off to the half. But make the Panthers punt here, I'm sure, is head coach Beachy's intent with that decision to call the third timeout. It's been a really exciting first half. The momentum just before the Vikings put up that most recent touchdown appeared to be swinging back to the Panthers, but a score by Kapinga and now a 3-and-out, having pushed the Panthers back 13 yards. Now 4th and 23. The punt is going to be caught and muffed by Ethan Eisman. He recovers, but then is now brought down instantly. So, again, kind of the flip side of taking a timeout there, trying to put the pressure on the Panthers to execute their punt, is then saying you have to execute your punt return. And Eisman maybe thinking a little bit too much about the run after he had that punt catch. As it stands, though, Viking ball right at the 45, just 6 seconds to go. I would assume the Vikings are just going to take a knee here and head off to half, and it appears that is what Timmy Guler is going to do. Guler with the knee. That gets us to the end of the first half. 3 Jack Kapinga touchdown runs and a Guler touchdown run, plus 4 successful 2-point conversion tries, has the Vikings at 32. The Panthers with a touchdown from Morris to Morris. That's Noah to Blake Morris from 57 yards, has them on the board. And we will be back in 12 minutes' time with the second half action from Section 8AA semifinal matchup in Pelican Rapids. It's Vikings 32, Panthers 8.
This is about our future.
A future that starts with us.
A future that starts today.
And we'll do it
Together. We realize that in order to make a difference,
We need to embrace our differences.
Because it's our differences
that drives our greatness. We must learn to challenge ourselves
how we see ourselves,
and the world around us.
We need to push boundaries and move forward with intention.
encouraging all of us to make a real change in the world.
And in ourselves.
Pelican Rapids isn't just a place. It's a home, a community, and our school isn't just a school, but a gateway to the rest of the world.
Our future is about me.
About you.
About us.
And it all starts here.
A place where we can be part of a team, part of a dream.
And given the tools to pursue the unseen.
A place that we all belong.
and we all belong
Here. This is about our future.
A future that starts with us.
A future that starts today.
And we'll do it
Together.
Together. We realize that in order to make a difference,
We need to embrace our differences.
Because it's our differences.
that drives our greatness. We must learn to challenge ourselves
How we see ourselves.
and the world around us.
We need to push boundaries and move forward with intention.
encouraging all of us to make a real change in the world.
And in ourselves.
Pelican Rapids isn't just a place. It's a home, a community, and our school isn't just a school, but a gateway to the rest of the world.
Our future is about me.
About you.
About us.
And it all starts here.
A place where we can be part of a team, part of a dream.
And given the tools to pursue the unseen.
A place that we all belong.
And we all belong.
Here.
Welcome back to Pelican Rapids and Chauncey Martin Field. We are just about ready to get the second half started in this Section 8AA semifinal matchup. Rapids versus Rapids. It's Pelican Rapids, the home team, hosting Park Rapids. And your halftime score being 32-8 in favor of the Vikings. Just up Interstate 94. At the same time, the Barnesville Trojans are playing host to the 4-seeded Frazee Hornets, and that game at the half is 26-0 in favor of Barnesville. And so it's looking a little more likely that we are going to see a rematch of the section championship game from 2021, 2 years ago, when the Vikings came up short against the Trojans from Barnesville. Barnesville has basically been the team to beat in the section for the foreseeable past. And I know these Vikings are just looking for an opportunity to see the Trojans in this section championship game and see what they can do after these two teams did play each other earlier in the season in a 36-22 game here at Chauncey Martin Field. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Yes, the Vikings do have a lead. Yes, the Trojans do have a lead over in Barnesville, but there are second halves to play, and there is a reason why that old adage survives of this is why you play the games. But every possession really going to be crucial here for the Panthers. Down by 3 scores, 32-8. Some momentum can swing on this first possession. If the Vikings go get more points and push this to a 4-score game, it's going to be a real uphill battle. Whereas if the Panthers can get a stop and send that ball back to their offense, they're going to give themselves a little better chance. Here it's Channing Russman from the 20. Russman still on his feet, and Russman all the way up to the 46. A nice 26-yard return for junior Channing Russman, and the Vikings are going to have good field position to start their first drive of the second half. As both teams' offensive and defensive units are coming out on the field, I just want to correct one mistake I made in the first half. Talking about the Pelican Rapids production of The Music Man, I said it's going to be a Friday, Saturday, Sunday production. It's actually going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's Thursday, November 9th, Friday the 10th, and Saturday the 11th of November. Here it's the Vikings, 1st and 10. Some chaos in the Viking backfield, but out of all of that chaos, it's Jack Kappinga who's going to have a first down run of 11 yards and a pickup of 11. Moves the chains for the Vikings. Kappinga, who had 3 first half touchdowns. And here it's going to be Jack Paulson with the run. Still on his feet. Paulson's got room to run to the right side. He's got a first down and more. Paulson is going to be pushed out of bounds inside the Park Rapids 20. An impressive run. Again, the Vikings, just so many weapons offensively. If it's not Kappinga, it can be Guler. If it's not Guler, it might be Paulson, as you just saw there. If it's not Paulson, it's still Benson, Soli, Torres. lots of names that can get you in this Vikings offense. Here it's 1st down and 10 already. We're 2 plays into the second half, and the Vikings are in the red zone. Guler to pass out wide to Benson in stride. Gets 2 nice blocks and is going to fall forward. Some nice blocks by 2 senior wideouts there. That's Paulson and Soley blocking for Benson, who has a 1st down pickup of 6 yards. It's going to be 2nd and 4. The Vikings now all the way down to the Panther 7-yard line. Guler's got Kapinga behind him. 3 men wide right. Takes the snap, drops back to pass. He's going to find Benson now on the right side, and it's going to fall incomplete. And for the Vikings, almost better that pass is incomplete, as Benson would have lost a handful of yards on that play. As it stands, incomplete, and 3rd down and 4. Vikings can pick up a 1st down inside their 4-yard line. Some crucial plays here for the Panther defense. They have bent steadily this drive. They cannot break. Guler gives to Kapinga. Kapinga blockers in front of him, and Jack Kapinga is in for his 4th touchdown run of the afternoon. And the Vikings push their lead to 30 points. It is 38-8. 2-point conversion pending. There has not been an answer from the Panther defense for Jack Kapinga tonight. And with that touchdown, he is up to 20 total touchdowns on the season as the Vikings' top running back. Here it's Guler, and that's going to be the first failed 2-point conversion try. He was trying to find Miguel Torres on the near side of the field. So with 10:42 left to play in the 3rd quarter, it is 38-8 Pelican Rapids. I mentioned before that first drive how important it was for the Panthers to keep the Vikings at 32, and just a handful of plays later, the Vikings had driven down the field and already found themselves into the end zone. So an uphill battle for Park Rapids this second half. But we know Noah Morris, it's kind of like the old adage about Russell Wilson. You just let Russ cook. If the Panthers can let Morris cook in the second half, the Panthers can put up points very quickly. But credit to the Vikings defense, they have held him in check for most of this game. It's Grady Larson with the kick, and that's going to be fielded at the 18 by number 16 of Park Rapids. Still on his feet across the 40. Really nice return from Aiden Manham, the junior. A pickup of 24 yards on that return, and the Panthers are going to start on their 42-yard line. Nice field position for Park Rapids on the Manham return. It is warmed up all the way to 26 degrees in Pelican Rapids with a wind chill of 17. And it's Morris to throw. He looks left, right, and overthrows his wide receiver. That's number 8, Ryan Carroll, who would have been right at the 1st down marker. As it stands, 2nd and 10 following the incompletion. Panthers in need of something positive offensively. Morris takes the snap. He looks to pass again, throws, and in and out of the hands of Carroll. Would have been good for a 4-yard pickup had he managed to corral that in. And 2 incompletions later, it brings up a very quick 3rd and 10 for this Panther offense. Other than the 57-yard touchdown throw from Morris to Blake Morris, this Vikings defense has looked incredibly impressive in this semifinal matchup. The Panthers have 2 men wide, right and left. On 3rd and 10, Morris takes the shotgun snap and looks to pass. Under pressure from the Vikings front line, steps up and throws. Very nice job by Noah Morris finding Ryan Carroll on the 1st down completion. felt the pressure coming from both sides, stepped up in the pocket, kept his eyes downfield, and Morris finds Carroll for the first down completion. First and 10 inside Viking territory now. Morris, little option run, is going to keep himself and fall forward for a first down pickup of a yard. What was a cloudy morning and early afternoon has now given way to a lot of sunshine in the second half, which has taken what little snow remained on the field and gotten rid of that. But right now the Panthers are on the muddiest section of Chauncey Martin Field. We've seen a couple slips in this area. Morris drops back to pass, drifts to his right, throws, and right through the hands of Carroll. Would have been a pickup of at least 8 on that one. And that's been where Morris has looked for pretty much all of his dropbacks other than the touchdown. He has been looking Ryan Carroll's way. That incompletion, though, brings up 3rd and 9 from the Viking 42-yard line. And with the score being what it is, I would imagine any Panther drive is going to be one where they go for it on 4th down regardless of distance and field location. They break the huddle with 8 seconds on the game clock. Morris takes the snap, looks to his left, and he is going to avoid the sack from Kapinga. Now throws downfield, and it's going to fall incomplete. A nice athletic play from Morris to even avoid that sack from Mark Kapinga, but then really nice coverage both from Ethan Schustrom and Trayvon Benson. And it's 4th and 9 for the Panthers. As much as you can say a play is pretty do or die when there's still 9 minutes to play in the third quarter, this is a very important 4th and 9 as the Panthers really need to get points on this drive and don't want to give it back to the Vikings in good field position. The 4th down play, Morris has men wide left and right. Here it is a motion from Johning. Now trips right. Morris drops back to pass, steps up in the pocket, and it's tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it falls incomplete. And that Viking front line got just enough of that ball to force the incompletion. So the Vikings defense forces the turnover on downs, and with 9:11 to play in the third quarter, the Vikings now take over up 38-8. And with each second that ticks off the clock, the Vikings can start to feel that Fargo Dome turf under their cleats and a potential rematch with the Barnesville Trojans in the section championship game. Here, Guler takes the snap, gives to Jack Kapinga with a lot of room to run in front of him. He nearly breaks 2 tackles in the Panther secondary. He was untouched the first 15 yards of that run before being brought down. Kapinga, who already has 4 touchdowns on the afternoon for Pelican Rapids, was looking for one for the thumb there. And it brings up a new set of downs for the Vikings now in Panther territory. That give is going to go to Jack Paulson, and Paulson is going to have a first down pickup of about 2 for the Vikings. And for as nice as those long Kapinga runs are, any type of run for positive yards that keeps the clock moving is one that you are pleased with if you're standing on the Vikings sideline. Vikings quick to the line. Guler takes the snap, fakes to Kapinga, pitches as he's being tackled to Mark Kapinga. Kapinga misses, causes one man to miss a tackle, and he is going to have first down yardage. Not the prettiest play there. Guler bumped into Jack Kapinga on the initial fake, was being tackled as he pitched it, but got it to Mark Kapinga, who made a man miss and picked up the first down for the Vikings, who now have a fresh set of downs from the Panther 25. Guler, with 3 men in the backfield, takes the snap, fakes to Paulson, gives to Kapinga, and Jack Kapinga is going to have a gain of 5 yards on first down. And at this point, any run from Jack Kappenga that does not end in a touchdown is one that feels like a win for the Panther defense, as Kappenga has just been running all over the field this afternoon. The clock is now under 8 minutes to play from Pelican Rapids in this third quarter. Guler's got trips right, and Kappenga in the backfield with him. Takes the snap, will give to Kappenga up the middle, and brought down in the backfield, actually. A very nice play by that Panther front line, as Kappenga is able to get right back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. So third down for the Vikings. And it's kind of an interesting spot if you're this Viking offense. They love so much to get up to the line quick and get a play call quick and get that ball snapped quick. But here you're at a spot where you're okay letting that play clock run down if you can. Here, Guler fakes and now pitches out wide to Paulson. Paulson's got the room to run on the right side, and he's going to have a Viking first down. And he is going to be brought down inside the Panther 10. It's going to be first and goal, maybe? Right at the 10-yard line. I think the Vikings can actually pick up a first down within their 1. Nope, they've set the chains down on the sideline. It's going to be first and goal for the Vikings right from the 10. Under 7 to play now in the third quarter. Guler with Kappenga behind him. He sends Benson in motion. Will give to Benson. And Trayvon Benson to be brought down in the backfield. A very nice play. That's number 51, Braden Hoffman, the sophomore linebacker for the Panthers, who brings down Benson for a loss of 3 yards. Now second and goal from the Vikings, from the Panthers' 13-yard line. As we near the midway point of this third quarter, the Vikings at the line. Guler with 3 men in the backfield is going to fake to Benson and give to Kappenga up the middle. Jack Kappenga corralled again after a small 1-yard pickup on second down. And it's third and goal for the Vikings from their Panther 12-yard line. Guler's got Benson, Schustrom, and Torres wide right. Soley and Paulson to his left. Guler steps up in the pocket. He's going to run. He's got about 10 of the 12 yards the Vikings needed there. And that's going to bring up fourth down and 2. Fourth and goal here for the Vikings. Guler fighting for every last yard. And this is basically a 2-point conversion try here for the Vikings. And they come with that 4 wide left formation. Guler all alone in the Viking backfield. Takes the snap, designed quarterback run, and Guler is going to be in for a Viking touchdown. He needed 2. He got just enough. And Timmy Guler in for his second rushing touchdown of the game, and the Vikings lead expands to 44-8. And the Vikings, who last week did try 2-point afters, have not attempted one this afternoon. Only 2-point conversion tries, and they will leave the offense on the field to do it again here. 5:07 on the clock. Guler takes the snap, looks to pass, lobs it to the end zone for Soley, and that's going to be intercepted in the end zone. That was kind of I'm going to throw it up and see who comes down with it there from Guler. And so the 2-point conversion try fails for the Vikings. And with 5:07 to go in the third quarter, the Vikings have pushed their lead to 44-8 in this Section 8AA semifinal matchup. And they have done exactly what they needed to do to start this second half. They've had the ball twice. They've gone and put points on the board twice, and their defense has not allowed the Park Rapids offense and quarterback Noah Morris to really get rolling. We saw Morris 2 weeks ago in Park Rapids when these two teams saw each other last make a lot of plays with his legs, extending plays in the backfield, which led to some big completions downfield. That has only happened once this evening on the lone Panther touchdown from Morris to Morris back in the second quarter. Here it's Grady Larson set to kick off yet again for the Vikings. Larson sends his kick down, and it's going to trickle out of bounds. And penalty flags fly as that will move the ball up to the Panther 35, I believe. 35. All things considered, not a bad penalty in high school football. We've seen both teams have nice kickoff returns well past the 40-yard line. And so ball goes out of bounds on a penalty. Actually, now you start from your 35. Certainly not bad field position offensively, but maybe not the penalty that you'd think it would be when the ball goes out of bounds. As it stands, the Panthers take over, and they are at a spot now down 36 points where they're going to have to score pretty much every time they have the ball, and they're going to have to stop the Vikings' offense, which has seemed mostly unstoppable this afternoon. We have a slight delay here. I think it has something to do with the game balls being used. The refs are on the Vikings sideline, which is a little odd because typically it's the offensive team who provides the ball for that possession. And so I'm not entirely sure what the holdup is here. Your guess at home is as good as mine as to what this delay is. Again, it does in some way, shape, or form have to do with the game balls being used. And now I see a new ball come in from the Park Rapids sideline, and they will get things started. 1st and 10 from their own 35. And we're set. Morris has 2 men in the backfield with him as he takes the shotgun snap and is going to give right up the middle. We have not seen a whole lot of rushing attempts from the Panthers this afternoon. That was number 9, Jaden Whalen. When these two teams met 2 weeks ago, the Panthers actually had a negative total rush yards for the game. So this has been a trend that we have seen from them, at least against Pelican Rapids this year. But a productive 4-yard gain there, and it brings up 2nd and 6. Morris takes the snap, and it's going to be another rush play. This time, again, number 9, Whalen, who picks up 3, and it's going to be 3rd down and 3. And you like the positive yardage plays, but with all of these running plays, that clock again continues to run. If you're Park Rapids, that clock is not your friend, down 36 in the 3rd quarter. 3rd and 2 following a couple of Whalen runs. 2 men in the backfield with Morris, who takes the shotgun snap. Looks to run on the right side, patient running, and he is going to have a 1st down for the Panthers right up near midfield. And the Panthers are going to have a fresh set of downs from their own 48-yard line. If you're the Vikings defense, you are more than okay if the Panthers are going to try to kind of nickel and dime their way down the field. As long as that clock continues to run, you're feeling pretty good if you're the Vikings here. 1st and 10 from the 48 of the Panthers. Morris takes the snap and will give right up the middle, and tripped up is number 16, Aiden Manham. He's going to fall forward for a gain of 3, make it 4 on 1st down. Three minutes to play in this 3rd quarter. you always, at least myself personally, enjoy those Saturday playoff games, and they always seem to be much chillier than even the couple of games before then. We were here on Tuesday night, and it was about as nice as it could be for late October. But I can think back to many other Saturday playoff games on this semifinal weekend where there's piles of snow on the sideline and you need snow shovelers on the field pregame. It wasn't quite that bad, but there was a dusting yesterday into today in Pelican Rapids. That false start from the Vikings is going to move the ball forward 5 yards and bring up 2nd and 1 for the Panthers. Morris from the shotgun takes the snap, and he's going to give again up the middle. And that is Whalen, who is going to actually go backwards a half yard on 2nd down, and it's going to be 3rd and 1 from the Viking 43-yard line. The Viking student section bundled up, a lot of blankets over there in the student section on a, again, chilly Saturday afternoon with wind chills down into the teens in Pelican Rapids. But a nice sunny afternoon, and the Vikings are feeling that warm sun a little more on their sideline as they are up 44-8. The 3rd down run is going to be good for a 1st down from Morris. Back-to-back 1st downs for the Panthers, but this drive has already taken over 3.5 minutes off the clock. If the Panthers are going to attempt to make any type of rally or comeback in this one, they're going to have to score a little faster than they have been able to move the ball on this possession. Morris has 2 men wide left and 2 in the backfield with him as he takes the snap, and he's going to give to Carroll again, or excuse me, to Whalen up the middle. And Jaden Whalen has a 1st down gain of 1.5 yards for the Panthers. We are now under a minute to go in the 3rd quarter from Pelican Rapids. And pending the result of this play, it could be the last play we see of the 3rd quarter. It's Morris who takes that shotgun snap, will fake the give, and now look to pass deep on the right sideline. And an excellent catch. That's number 7, Matt Johning. It was number 28, Esteban Garza in coverage. And a nice throw and an even better catch right over the outstretched arm of Garza. And Matt Johning walked his way into the end zone after that. So the 2nd touchdown toss from Noah Morris has cut the Viking lead down to 30 with 22 seconds to go in the 3rd quarter, and that Panther offense will stay on the field to go for 2. The snap, and it's going to be little option that the Vikings are all over there. It was Jack Kapinga who got to Morris in the backfield, so a failed 2-point conversion try is going to keep our score at 44-14. So you're happy with the points if you're the Panthers, and an especially nice catch from senior wide receiver Matt Johning to cap off that touchdown drive. But at the same time, it took up over 5 minutes of game time. And if you're the Vikings, you're okay with that score if it's going to come with a 5-minute tag to it. And if you are the Vikings, you'd like to push this lead over 35. If that score is over 35 in the 4th quarter, that clock does run. And so with any future touchdown from the Vikings, it would get to run time. And the Vikings, a lot of men near the kick. the Panthers are going to elect to go deep with it, and it's Russman who fields from his 16-yard line. And it's going to be brought down right around the 30, and that's where the Vikings will start this offensive possession. 15 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's 44 Pelican Rapids to 14 Park Rapids. And that is McLean Hovland in the backfield for the Vikings. Stepping in for Timmy Guler on that first down play, and that's going to send us to the fourth quarter. The Vikings lead by 30. And we've started to see a little substituting going on now. Senior quarterback Timmy Guler, who is so crucial on both sides of the ball, will likely be able to rest this last quarter. And as long as the score remains even remotely what it is, I am guessing the Vikings are going to start to sub even more as we get into the fourth quarter. Just down the interstate in Barnesville, and the score is 42-0 in favor of the Trojans. That game later in the fourth quarter. So state champions are well on their way to that section championship game. Here it's Hovland who is going to give. That's number 3, Benson on the run, and Trayvon Benson is going to have a gain of about 5 as flags fly in the Viking backfield, excuse me. And that's going to back the Vikings up, and we'll redo second down. And the clock will run on 2nd and 10. It's Hovland on the option. He's going to pitch, and that's Jack Kappinga, who's got first down yardage and a little bit more for the Vikings. And I'm mistaken, he must have been pushed out of bounds a little before I saw. So third down for the Vikings. And it is Mark Kappinga up the middle, first down yardage and more, a pickup of 15. They needed 5. And Mark Kappinga keeps the Viking offense moving. Hovland gives back to Mark Kappinga, keeps his legs moving and picks up 5 yards on first down. Again, Timmy Guler resting this fourth quarter with a 30-point lead. Had 3+ sacks defensively, ran for 2 scores offensively in the seniors' final home game at Chauncey Martin Field. And for the rest of this Vikings senior class, the last quarter of play on their home field. They were able to play a lot of home games this season. They had 5 regular season home games and now 2 playoff games. This is their 7th game on Chauncey Martin Field this year. And I'm sure they are going to be happy to give up that home field advantage in exchange for heading up to the Fargo Dome next Friday. A throw from Hovland, picked off the ground. Before hitting the ground is Benson. Going to pick up a short gain, and now it is 4th down on this drive, but the clock is continuing to run. We are just getting the 10-minute mark in the 4th quarter. The Vikings slowing things down a little bit, going to the huddle, not the hurry-up offense that we saw in the first half. Hovland attempting to draw the Panthers offside. The Panthers do not jump, and head coach Eli Beachy will use his first timeout of the second half to stop the clock. And a 4th and 4, we'll see if the Vikings do elect to punt or get a little different play call in on 4th and 4. Again, a busy week in Pelican Rapids. The Viking volleyball team with multiple playoff games. They did come up short last night on the road up in East Grand Forks for their 2nd round playoff matchup with the Green Wave. And running last night in the cold and snowy conditions in Bagley, Minnesota, was the Viking cross-country team. And our congratulations to junior Charlie Larson making another trip to state and coming away from that race, the Section 8AA first place runner. So best of luck to Charlie Larson and congratulations on an already successful cross-country season. And the rest of the Viking cross-country crew. Always a little extra respect for sports. I remember one of the favorite T-shirts I saw some of my classmates have was, "Our sport is your sport's punishment." And here it's 4th down. The Vikings do go for it, and it's going to be a 1st down run from Jack Kapinga, keeping the ball in the hands of the Viking offense. And even more important from a Viking perspective, keeping that clock rolling. The Vikings, who have felt pretty much in control for most of this one. It was a little tighter. That Panther defense forced 2 3-and-outs against the Vikings offense in the first quarter, 8-0 at the end of that first quarter. But the Vikings extended their lead and pushed it up to a 3-score game as an impressive job by the Panther front line getting to number 44, Lucas Verdorn, deep in the backfield. The Vikings again starting to sub a bit more. The 2nd down play is going to be Hovland getting right back to the line of scrimmage. The Vikings really using that play clock to its fullest. Now under 8 minutes to go in this ball game. And the 3rd and long play has the Vikings with 3 men wide right. Hovland's going to take the snap and look to throw over the middle. And out of all of that, a completion to senior number 7, Jack Paulson, moves the chains for the Vikings. There was a lot of chaos, for lack of a better word, going on over the middle of the field. And out of that, Hovland with a nice loft downfield, and coming out of that pack was Paulson for the completion. moving the chains again and keeping that clock running for the Vikings. Now it's Mark Kapinga right up the middle, and a solid first down run of 6 for the junior. McLean Hovland, who saw time in those first 3 games of the year at quarterback, as Timmy Guler was still coming back from an injury. And speaking of an injury, that's number 24 for the Panthers, sophomore Andy Johning, who is down. And that'll give us a little pause here. With 7:13 to go in the fourth quarter, the Vikings lead the Panthers 44-14. We're back following that injury timeout. Johning off the field on his own accord. And it is second down. Hovland is going to keep and then pitch. That's Ethan Eisman, who's got room to run on the right side. He's going to have a Vikings first down. He turns to the corner, and the freshman into the end zone. Ethan Eisman. If you notice a little extra excitement in my voice for a touchdown when the game is already well in the Vikings' control, it's because that is the 4th time this year that Ethan Eisman has found the end zone, but the first 3 all got called back on penalties. And so the freshman finally gets into the end zone in a varsity game, and he does so in a section semifinal game. And with that touchdown, following the upcoming kickoff, the Vikings have pushed that lead above 35, and so it'll be running clock as long as the score stays above 35. Here, Hovland is going to keep himself, and he's going to be down just a yard shy, and so the 2-point conversion fails, but a touchdown run on the pitch from Hovland to Eisman has the Vikings lead pushed to 50-14 with 6:55 to play. Really nice drive from the Viking offense, taking time off the clock, a couple of third down pickups, a nice throw and catch from Hovland to Paulson. And my assumption would be that we are going to see a lot of substitutions for the Vikings, both defensively and offensively, the rest of the game. And a very solid performance from the Vikings in their last home game of the season. The last home game in the careers of the Vikings senior crew. And here it's Grady Larson with the kickoff. And that's going to hit the grass around the 30 and roll, and was actually, I think, tipped right off the leg of number 16, Aiden Manham. And Manham, following that touch, it goes out of bounds right around the 26. So an unorthodox but effective kickoff from the Vikings' Grady Larson. And the Panthers will take over from their 26. And with the score at 36, or the lead for the Vikings at 36, the clock does run following that kickoff. Substitutions are in for the Vikings. Andrew Treco D'Souza out there at present. As the give is going to be up the middle. A very nice tackle and hit from number 78. That's Edwin Escobar, making his presence felt. Immediately subbing into the game. McLean Hovland in on defense. Lucas Verdoren in on defense. A whole host of Viking substitutions. Grady Larson is now in the game. And a timeout called by the Panthers on second down. We'll stop the clock. And it's all smiles on the Vikings sideline as they know they are headed up to the Fargo Dome next Friday to take on the Barnesville Trojans, who defeated the Frazee Hornets in their semifinal matchup just 15 minutes down the road from Pelican Rapids. And it's second down and 8. That is number 2, Carter Hurt, sophomore quarterback. And Hurt, with a very effective run, is going to have a first down and then more for the sophomore. So substitutions in for the Panthers as well. Connor Nelson, senior, checking into the game for the Vikings defensively. Miguel Torres out there in the secondary. Ben Ecker out there, junior, for the Vikings. Just a whole host of substitutions giving those starters some well-earned rest. Handoff right up the middle is going to go to number 9, Jaden Whalen, and Whalen's got room to run in front of him, and no one's going to catch Whalen. He is into the end zone for the Park Rapids score. Jaden Whalen, the sophomore, busts a big gain, and that cuts the Vikings' lead down to 30 with 5.5 to go in this game. And the biggest deal with that is we will not have run time now. It'll be a normal clock. And we're going to see a point after try. That's number 9, Whalen, who just scored the touchdown, who is now on to kick the point after. Snap good, hold good. The kick is going to hit the crossbar and go through. That PAT needed every last centimeter, but it was good. It was not pretty, but it was good, and that score now reads 21-50 in favor of the Vikings with 5:30 to go in the fourth quarter. And if you can hear through my microphone, the YMCA being pumped through the audio here at Chauncey Martin Field. And like I said, it's all smiles on the Vikings sideline. They may have just given up a touchdown, but they know they are heading to that section final, and some dancing even from some seniors. Whalen now kickoff duties, is going to send it deep, and that's going to be hauled in by Paulson, and Paulson is going to bring it up across the 35 for the Vikings. And we are now going to see the Vikings' full JV offensive unit. That means that Grady Larson is going to be in at quarterback for the Vikings. The freshman who has handled those kicking duties is now stepping in to the quarterback role offensively for the Vikings. .525 on the clock to go in this one. Larson back in the gun formation. Sends Giovanni Abarca in motion, and Larson will pitch to Abarca. And Giovanni will get right back to the line of scrimmage and then no more. It's going to bring up second down as the clock runs in Pelican Rapids. Larson will look to use up all of the play clock on these plays. Andon Roysum in at wide receiver for the Vikings. Bricker Haugrud now in the backfield. And the give is going to go to Haugrud, and Bricker Haugrud's got some room to run. And he is going to be very close to a Viking first down. A nice run from freshman Bricker Haugrud. And they are going to give him a first down on that run. Calvin Norton out there for the Vikings at present. Harley Jacobson checked into the game. It's a largely freshman and sophomore heavy unit. Lucas Verdorn out there at the wing position. That's Barca in motion. Larson's going to keep himself and run right up the middle for a short first down gain. Austin Kleinschmidt Jr. also in the game at line for the Vikings. And for the Vikings starters, some well-earned rest. And for that starting crew, obviously the number one thing you want to do in a game like this is come out victorious. And the Vikings are going to do that. But the second big thing is you want to come out healthy as you head into that section championship game. And those Viking starters are managing to do just that, as Larson is going to keep himself and get back to that line of scrimmage. So 2nd and 8 is going to turn into 3rd and 8. As we tick closer to 3 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter from Chauncey Martin Field and this Section 8AA semifinal. Barnesville has already booked their ticket to the section championship game, and these Vikings are less than 3 minutes from doing the same. The Vikings have seen the Trojans once earlier this season, all the way back September 15th, week 3, here at Chauncey Martin Field. It was a 36-22 game. Both teams were without a couple key players for the Vikings. That included quarterback Timmy Guler, as Haugrud loses the ball on that one, but it does appear that he was able to fall on it. And so it's going to be 4th and long for the Vikings. Barnesville undefeated last year en route to a state championship, and they are yet to lose this year. And they will enter into that game as the home-seeded 1 seed to take on the 2-seed Vikings in that Section 8AA championship game next Friday up at the Fargo Dome. That game set to start at 5:30. It's been 2 years since the Vikings found themselves back in that Fargo Dome. Section championship game from 2021 saw the Vikings take on the Trojans, and they are looking for that rematch. I know it has been their goal all season, and I'm not saying that is the lone goal. They want to move on, and they want to do some damage at state, but you can't get to state if you don't get to that section championship game first. And I expect an electric atmosphere up at the Fargo Dome next Friday between those two teams. Just over 2 minutes left here. That's going to be a timeout from the Vikings on 4th and long. And as we come out of this timeout from Pelican Rapids, all that is left to do in the final 2 minutes of this one is to dot the I and cross the T on victory for the Vikings. 4th and 10, Larson is on to handle punting duties, and he sends an end-over-end punt. That takes a slight Viking bounce before it is picked up and returned nicely down the sideline. And so the Panther offense will have good starting field position. We're under 2 minutes to go. The scoreboard reads 50 in favor of the Vikings to 21 for the Panthers. And basically, this entire second half has been all Pelican Rapids as they've pushed that lead into what's felt like a comfortable spot for the majority of this second half. That's Hurt still on at quarterback, the sophomore from Park Rapids, and he's going to give right up the middle, and a first down gain of 5 by number 5. That's Wrigley Clark, the sophomore. And the clock now runs under a minute 30 to go from Pelican Rapids. Second down and 5. Hurt takes the snap. He's going to give again to Clark up the middle, and Clark's got some room to run in front of him. He's got the left sideline and is going to be pushed out of bounds by Andrew Checo de Souza after a nice second down pickup. And this Panthers' second offensive unit still giving it everything they have in the waning minutes of this semifinal game. 1 minute, 9 seconds to go. It's 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the Vikings 28. Hurt takes the snap, runs to the right, has some blockers in front of him, and he is eventually going to be taken down by Esteban Garza, number 28, out there after a gain of 4 on first down. We're now under a minute to go from Pelican Rapids. The snap from Hurt, now tossed out wide to Clark, and Clark is brought down after a gain of 2, and that should do it. The Panthers will not call a timeout, and as the clock ticks closer to 0, the Vikings are headed on to the Fargo Dome on Friday night in the Section 8AA championship game against the defending state champion Barnesville Trojans. Your final from Chauncey Martin Field, Vikings 50, Panthers 21. That win improves the Vikings' overall record to 9-1 on the season, their 7th straight win, and their 5th straight win against this Panthers team. And the Vikings can now look ahead to next Friday and a rematch with the defending state champion Barnesville Trojans. It's been a pleasure to bring you the home games for the Vikings from Chauncey Martin Field this season. And for Kerry Haugrud and his student-led production team, led by today, Ibrahim Sarek, I am Andy Johnson, thanking you for tuning in to Viking action all season long and encouraging you to make the drive up to the Fargo Dome next Friday to see these Vikings in action against the Trojans. That game again set for a 5:30 start between the 1 and 2 seeds in Section 8AA. Again, thank you for tuning in this afternoon. The Vikings come away with a semifinal victory and are on to the championship game next Friday night. Thank you, everyone.
This is about our future.
A future that starts with us.
A future that starts today.
And we'll do it
Together.
Together. We realize that in order to make a difference,
We need to embrace our differences.
Because it's our differences
that drives our greatness. We must learn to challenge ourselves
how we see ourselves
and the world around us.
We need to push boundaries and move forward with intention.
Encouraging all of us to make a real change in the world.
And in ourselves.
Pelican Rapids isn't just a place. It's a home, a community, and our school isn't just a school, but a gateway to the rest of the world.
Our future is about me.
About you.
About us.
And it all starts here.
A place where we can be part of a team, part of a dream.
and given the tools to pursue the unseen.
A place that where all belong.
And we all belong.
Here.